Ο Θανάσης Ζαρκαδούλιας θα μας μιλήσει για το αμερικάνικο όνειρο. Ή μήπως είναι ένας εφιάλτης τελικά. American dream or American nightmare?
Hello everyone. Let me start by asking the question. Do you like watching Hollywood movies or Netflix series? I bet you do. I do too. But have you noticed something weird? In all those films and series, all you see is well-dressed people walking down Fifth Avenue with carefree smiles on their faces, dining at expensive restaurants every single night, moving around in taxi cabs, living in huge luxurious apartments in Manhattan, or having summer houses by the beach. You know what I'm talking about, right? And on top of that, their high-paying jobs allow them the time to do all these things. We have all seen these scenes and we think, wow, I wish I lived there. I wish I could be part of the American dream. But how many of you know the tragic reality behind these scenes? Spoiler alert, it is totally different from what you think. Let me use as an example the huge city of New York, which I visited some years back. In New York, there are 8.5 million people. Of course, we see the movies and we assume that all these people are rich, but that's not true. Only very few people that live in this city are rich. All the others do many jobs, such as cashiers, mailmen, shop assistants, accountants, or chefs, and they barely make enough money to pay rent. In fact, research has shown that more than 60% of the city's population are working more than one job just to pay the rent of a small-sized flat. And that's not a minority. I'm talking about 60% of the city's population. Now let's talk money. The minimum wage in New York is $15 per day, and if we calculate that in dollars per month, it isn't even enough to pay the rest of bills and groceries. So, New York is not the rich city we all imagine, but it's definitely expensive. Another thing that has stuck in my mind since I visited New York is that in almost every street there were at least 5 homeless people lying on the asphalt and asking for money. It was a tragic scene. Did you know these details? I bet you didn't because films and series don't show these things. But New York and this type of cities aren't the only places where people live. There is also the countryside, and life there is even worse than life in cities. Over the last years, more people than ever before have started leaving their hometowns and moving to bigger cities. The reason is simply the earnings and the cost of living in these areas. People there can't afford to live on only $1,200, which is the minimum wage, while the rent costs at least $1,300. And if you add to that the living expenses such as groceries, electricity bills, or transportation, the situation becomes practically unbearable. According to a survey, 65% of American people would love to leave the countryside and continue their life to bigger cities. But is this really an option for them based on what happens in New York? All I'm saying is don't believe everything that you see on your screens. These productions want to promote their country, and they show pictures that are far from reality. They show the greatness of the country. So beware of what you see on TV, Netflix, or the next Hollywood movie at the cinema, and think twice before you pack your things to move to the US for good, because the American dream that was once the dream of the most people might have died, and in its place, there's nothing but an American nightmare. Thanks for your time.